WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place. I am JR. And I have someone in the building with me that shows up sometime when she's not on assignment doing other things.
Listen. I got things to do. Hey, this is Stacey.
And we are back. And the great thing about my show is a jumbled ball of mess sometimes. The interviews will be coming back. I will be structuring them in the new year. They will be coming out on Wednesday, and these will start in March. I have been working very diligently to get interviews that you all have requested, people that make sense and affirmated to things that you want. And Stacey will be coming on to help us periodically with some different things, and she will be helping us in February with the Love Connection episode. How do I connect to Stacey's love? You heard the episodes in December where I paid homage to her, the greatest birthday gift I could ever give her, and tied her into The Barge, which she was able to catch all 4 of those episodes, all the month of her birthday in December. And we gave her an episode on West Virginia Commonplace on her birthday. So she's got 2 episodes coming out in one day. Or she did. So I was happy to have her come on for this New Year's episode for my show, or our show, but it's my show. Fuck it, it's my show.
It's your show.
Yeah, West Virginia Common Place. That's JR.
This one's all about you.
Yeah, so, Stacey, I have to ask you this.
Yes, dear.
What is it like being a podcaster now? Because you are officially, King Germ has determined you're the star of your show.
Listen. Who is this? We had this talk, I think, with him one time. I don't consider myself a podcaster. I just get on here and run my mouth.
But you have character.
I understand that, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the good feedback and all of that stuff. I'm not taking away from anybody's opinion and anything like that. But to me, and I'm not taking away from anybody that just does what I do. You know, if you yourself feel that you're a podcaster and you put in as little effort as I do, that more power to you. That's fine. But I myself, I see you and I see me. I don't consider myself a podcaster in the family you are. Because you do it all. You get on here, you can hold conversations with yourself. You can sit in here and you can talk on the mic for an hour. And nobody's bothering you or nothing. And you just keep going on. But you can also clean it up. You produce it, you publish it, you put in all your little notes, and you do your advertisement, and that's what makes you a podcaster.
Okay, but don't put it like this. So I treat you and there's another show called Pod Saving Our Marriage with King Germ and Queen Germ on it. Me and Queen Germ, we're the podcasters. we can go with that. You and King Germ just show up and do the show and then leave. So I can go with that. I want to take that. King Germ, shots fired. And shout out to any other podcaster that has been on their way with helping us, and big shout out to Marv with Pods Like Us. He in general, for both of our shows over in the UK, he puts us on a blog.
Okay.
He listens to our show when he's doing his job. He's a delivery guy, some kind of type of delivery dude over there. I don't know if it's Amazon or whatever they got in Britain.
Right.
And he listens to our show. He takes his time. He writes a full-on blog description on what we do. So shout out to him, and I hope you all hear the episode with me and him on it, because you know I don't do very many episodes. But I had to give this man his due because he is one of the best chronological podcasters in this game. He can build your show up, and he made our shows a little bit more popular with his aid. And thank you for the shout out, and you're part of the great connection that is part of the West Virginia Uncommon Place and Sparrows Under Review family. You and then our guys over at Our Cynic Culture in Kentucky, the guys that handle all the bourbon reviews, we want to thank you too for handling both our shows and loving both of them. Because if it wasn't for y'all guys in Kentucky, we wouldn't have that move every time that our shows pop up in Louisville and different places like that. So big shout out to y'all guys. One day we'll make it to see y'all guys. We're not going to drink or nothing, but we will go with you to Maker's Mark, and they can make me a steak and put some whiskey on it and I'll eat it, or something like that. So
we will be in Lexington this year.
We will be in Lexington, so definitely give us a shout out. And all four of you guys, we got an H6 Zoom recorder like y'all do. I know y'all got the H8, so we can put 8 mics on and we can do it. That's all in y'all's hands. So, on to the new year. We have a major topic that we covered on the show prior, and you were part of that. It was Podfest. We went to Podfest last year, and we are on our way to Podfest now.
Right.
So
we are better prepared this year. We know what we're doing. We have our ideas. Obviously, once we get there and what we're doing inside of Podfest, we don't know yet because we haven't seen that schedule. But we're prepared this year.
Yes.
We know where we're staying, what we're driving. Got a lot better car this year.
Right. And then huge, amazing shout out to Buzzsprout podcasting hosts for providing our tickets. We don't lie about things on our show.
Right.
They gave us tickets to this show. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank them because they are a anchor and I'm talking about Anchor, not the old Spotify bullshit. A boat anchor. They are one of the reasons that podcasting is surviving and existing like they are. Mm-hmm. Shout out to everybody in Jacksonville, Florida. That's part of that company. Shout out to the other part of their show, which their podcast is called Buzzcast, and they have some of the greatest podcast information that you can find in podcasting. So when you get yourself in a conundrum and don't know what to do, every other Friday, turn on Buzzcast. I don't know why I was about to say Buzzsprout, but definitely there. And then the next thing too, I want to give these quick shout outs. Alex Sanfilippo, Katie Brinkley, Larry Roberts, Chris Comezzo, and Jan Hardy. I want to say thank you to you all for embracing me in the industry.
Sorry guys, I had to slow him down.
Yeah, she had to slow me down. The reason that I want to say this is because something has happened in podcasting with me. Last year when I was not a novice, I've always been professional in what I do. Mm-hmm. But I'm folded over into that more business aspect.
Right.
I'm going to develop better behind the scenes.
Correct.
And that's the reason to go to Podfest this year. We have to get that measure out the way. And then shout out to Podcastle too for doing our audio. So going back to this last bit before we jump off here, because y'all know my shows have been kind of light. You know, I've been giving y'all those little 5-10 minutes.
Because you talk so fast. My goodness.
On your show, I slow it down and I give them that old Virginia accent, that old moonshiner.
I was confused. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, I went. That's that Sonic. Right. I'm Super Mario on your show, but I'm Sonic on this one. So, Stacey, I gotta ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Do you mind?
Okay.
Preparing for all this, how do you prepare to go to Podfest?
I have to kind of like take it like I'm not going to be around a whole lot of people. Like I'm going for an experience to just go to Florida to have fun, to be in a warm element that's not frozen. And it's a big mental thing for me because I don't do well with people. And I don't do well with large crowds. But doing it last year, I was okay for the most part. I think there was only like 1 or 2 times where I'm just like, okay, I have to let me just stay here while you go over, or let me drop you off and I'm going to come back to the room because I need to breathe. And of course, this is a different location, so I'm not going to be able to find those same cubby holes that I might have found at the last place. Right. So I just kind of got to take it as I'll be okay.
All right, and we have a third person with us this year. Mm-hmm. We have Julio Martinez from Frankly Francisco. He's going independent of us.
Has he announced that he's going?
Yes, he announced earlier. I mean, he announced like in October or November of 2023.
He is going to be down there, yes.
Right, and he is a part of the family. Mm-hmm. We've done a show with him.
He was your first in-person interview?
Yeah, of a podcaster.
Yes.
And we did it in the car.
Right, at McDonald's.
At McDonald's in Parkersburg. So shout out. So he'll be there with me. So I don't know if we discussed it at all, but it will be able to take a little load off you if you need to take some time, if you got a TikTok or, if you just want to go get a breeze. And we definitely got to get in the hot tub somewhere.
Yeah.
So my next question, and this is one that doesn't have anything to do with Podfest, because we did a little update thing on your show over there, or our show, I'm sorry, but I like to call it your show. the biggest event thus far, I mean, we got wrestling. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the biggest event we got this year right now, or the first quarter of the year, Lexington Comic-Con.
Yes.
What are we anticipating?
I'm excited, man. Like, I don't know if it's because there's a large part of the Charmed cast come in, or if I'm just excited to go back because of the game room, or maybe it's just like the overall experience, because I don't think I have felt more welcomed, and it felt so warm and inviting, and I don't remember a single rude person.
Right.
Like, you know, we can probably listen to the podcast episode that we did a long time ago, and you can probably hear me cussing somebody out, but I don't remember that.
Right. It was just some stagnant motherfucker standing around, but that's anywhere. That's Walmart.
I remember the good parts.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to go back and to know that we're going to do all of the days, and we're going to be there for the entire length.
Right. And I know, like, this thing is going to break our pockets.
Right.
Like, I've told my story enough on your show, on Sparrows Under Review. Definitely check out that Lexington episode. It came out in December, so go over there if you're not a listener. And if you're not a listener over there, that is probably it has been told to me by many people, listeners and podcasters, they prefer that show over mine.
I think that those people that are telling you that are probably more of people that like to hear the banter, the back and forth, right. the multiple discussion, because I'll tell you, it gets boring sometimes sitting there listening to a single podcaster just rant on a topic.
Yes,
and
I agree.
And I can understand that. You know, I'm not saying everybody's like that or whatever, but I can see why somebody would say something like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that Sparrows Under Review is bad and it's like you only talk to yourself, because you do interviews. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's more consistency.
Yeah, because my show's like,
you know, you have you and someone else.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
On the other one is me and you.
Right.
That's it.
And with me and you on there, the camaraderie and the chemistry and different things, it's like we were talking in a car.
Right, and you put more into Sparrows Under Review, because not like that you don't care about WVN Commonplace anymore, but because you were able to experience the ups and downs with this podcast.
Right.
You're like, oh, I know that doesn't work, so I'm not even going to bring it into Sparrows Under Review, and that's noticeable. Right.
You can see it, mm-hmm. and then, like, you know, certain things like I didn't do with it. Like, these are things I wanted to ask you about. Are you upset or mad that we don't have an intro or outro?
I don't care.
I think it makes that show lively, because mine, I have a British person on mine, and like everybody knows I do so much in podcasts, and I'm not lazy or anything, but I just haven't.
You're lazy.
I didn't.
I mean, in a sense, yeah.
I haven't took the time to change it, because every person that they're like, it catches me at first.
Yeah.
Then at the end, I don't know what the hell she's saying, because she says, instead of saying WVN Commonplace, she says onecommonplace.com. And I just say to myself, I said, look, I'm working on it.
All right.
Show's going through some changes. The major announcement will be coming out very soon about what's going on with the show going forward.
Yes.
The archival show that I do that I talk about all the time but never talk about, West Virginia Commonplace Presents the Collection.
Yes.
It will be going under a new name.
Okay.
And it will eventually be taking over the interview portion of West Virginia and Commonplace.
Gotcha.
That's been a main goal to get that going, and that show will be that show is actually on Acast right now. We have a show, 2 shows on another host that we're going to experiment with one and see how it goes, and then if it works out good, we'll leave the other host and put them on the same host. But that's another topic, politics, that we don't have to go into. If you need to hear that stuff, you can hear it on West Virginia Commonplace's Patreon, that will be starting on February 18th. We will have paid episodes on there. I will be part of Buy Me a Coffee. I'm going to do more things, because the fans were upset that they said that I took the paid content away. And I took the paid content away this winter because I want to build a broader audience.
Right.
I want you to like our shows, and if it's worth the money after you listen to it over some time, then if you want to spend money with us, that's fine. And if you don't, we just encourage you to listen.
Right.
Because it helps no matter if you don't spend money. And that's something that people... I get mad about that, like...
Right, because, like, we... Don't get me wrong, we do appreciate any time that you would want to spend money with us. But all that we ask you to do is like and share.
Right.
Like, you see our post out there for the 10th time today, just like it. Just give me that thumbs up or the heart button or anything like that. Follow.
Right.
Follow us on any type of social media that we have. Those are always supportive of us because it does open us up for avenues as far as sponsorships and
product placement.
Yes, because that's a big part of the whole influencer thing. You have to have certain numbers and engagement with your audience. And, we would rather keep you free. Keep your money in your pocket. Just hit us a like and a share and spend your money on something that that is sponsoring our episode.
And big shout out to Anchor Nebula. Mm-hmm. I'm going to always say that for working with us. And we put together some amazing stuff. If you want to check out West Virginia Commonplace, head over to TikTok. TikTok is our social media platform. Yep. Instagram is kind of a place where if you're a part of the show, you can go there and get some reminders, or if you want to hear audio clip. But you go over to TikTok, you're going to catch me. You're going to catch me 5 times a week. You're going to catch different things, and it's more than just podcasting. But anyway, I'm making this episode a little too long, and Stacey's yawning over in the corner. She's about to fall out the seat.
I know. I'm ready for a nap.
One thing we do is we record like Tupac. We get these shows done. And
I know. I think this is number 5 today or something.
Right. So we've been going hard in the paint like Yao Ming, and that's one of my phrases.
My headphones are clipping.
Yeah, my right one's going.
Yeah, hopefully y'all can't hear that.
Yeah, well, I'll edit it out. Shout out the podcast on that once again. One last thing I do want to say is that we do have merchandise over on TeePublic. Mm-hmm. And the major announcement will be that conceptually, after April, Sparrows Under Review will have merchandise on TeePublic.
Yes.
That's something I want to throw out there. The thing is that being independent podcasters, we have to strategically plan things and do things. We can't just roll it all out like a big company.
Right.
And I always felt that merchandise is something that's real tricky and funny. I like the promotional stuff that Stacey does for us. And when people want to buy it or get stuff, that's cool because it works out great. But
right. I like to do our stuff as just like in my downtime or our freebie items or something like that right now, because it's a lot.
Right.
And for where I have a full-time job, and I would hate for somebody to suffer because it takes me 2 weeks to make a t-shirt that they could get on TeePublic, where you still make a profit, but they get theirs a lot faster. And I'm okay with that. I would like to mention that we are looking for somebody to create a logo for our Sparrows Under Review.
Yes.
I do have kind of ideas, and I'd like to keep my main logo, but I feel like we need different colors and just different things. So, like I've said before, I'm very cheap, but I don't want something tacky. I'm very fair when it comes to pricing.
So definitely let us know if you can get something done there. And
or if you just want to do it with a shout out. Right. We'll promote your product or your artwork if you want to do some trading. And
something that I don't do on the show, but I do want to do this quick before we wrap up. I want to thank you for coming on the show again. I mean, you're part of it, but you when you're not on assignment.
Right.
And that's just my news take on that, because you know that on the news they're always like some reporter was on assignment somewhere, so they're not here.
Most of the time I'm sitting at home working.
Right. I want to say a big shout out to Rodis. Rodis last year did pod tapes.
Okay.
And he included us on pod tapes, and it gave our show a very big boost in the Midwest. So huge shout out to him. Dolomite and the whole West Coast podcasters. I want to give a big shout out to you guys, because you all, with my show and with Sparrows Under Review, you all have given us a broad audience. So shout out to all of y'all out there, and any other podcaster that has helped us along the way, because there's so many that I could name.
Right.
I just want to tell you guys thank you. To the listeners, thank you all for giving us your time and patience. And lastly, on this show we do something that's called, we pay homage to a beautiful lady. She was a great lady, Barbara Walters. She passed away last year. Pay homage to 2020. It's part of the show that I do. And Stacey, you've been on this show for a long time, but you know what's happened? You have never.
I always find a way to
avoid
the topic.
The 2020 questions. Are you ready for your 2020 questions?
If it's easy.
Oh no, it's personable and it's hardcore. Are you ready? I need a yes or no.
Depending on the topic, I reserve the right to refuse after the question is answered.
So
asked.
So here's a question. You get to Podfest. There's numerous things that you can do. There's all kinds of food you can eat. But what's one place that you want to definitely go eat while you're in Florida?
You know, we're going to try to DoorDash our barbecue from SeaWorld.
Or I'll just buy a ticket for real.
I know, but that's the thing. If anybody is familiar with the Orlando area, please, please, please let us know. Can we DoorDash from inside of the theme park? Because I'm not about to buy tickets to go into SeaWorld. Because as much as I love to see those animals, it's not worth it to me because I don't get on the rides. But I just want the barbecue chicken.
Hell yeah, that chicken was fire.
Yes.
So on to the next question. And this is a hard one. This is not a top 5 question because she doesn't like to do... We do a review show, but she doesn't like to do top 5, top 10 stuff.
Because it's hard.
If you could go back to 2023,
Uh-huh.
and there was one thing that you could get time back from, that's media, anything in life, what would be something that you would want to get time back from 2023? You want me to put a little bit more filler out there?
Yeah.
For me, for instance, the only time that I want to get back is 3 hours I wasted on Oppenheimer. It was a topic on Facebook today.
I agree. I agree.
It was a topic today.
I already forgot about Oppenheimer.
Over 200 podcasters said that movie sucked today on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
And someone watched it today on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they lost 3 hours of their time. And I put in a nice little jab for the show. I said, if you had to listen to Sparrows under review, you would have known. That's the only time I want to get back. Then 3 hours.
Right. And I think that's my hardest issue of why I don't like to watch new movies. Because, like, I'm sorry, but nowadays, a lot of times they're trash to me.
Right.
Because I know what I like in a movie and I know what I want to get out of it, and they're just not doing it anymore. So I'm just like, oh my gosh.
All right. So there's this
Keep
thing.
me in the comedy.
Okay. So there's this thing that's funny in movies. It's called a sleeper hit.
Okay.
A sleeper hit is something that creeps up on you. You don't necessarily know that it's coming, and you don't even know where it came from.
Uh-huh.
And it wraps you up, and it becomes one of your favorite movies of 2023. So let's knock one thing out the way. Taylor Swift is echelon. That's top echelon for you.
Right.
But there was another movie, maybe, and I don't know if we...
See, I don't even know when it came out.
Well, this movie, we watched it on bootleg. So... Dumb Money.
That was good.
Dumb Money was my sleeper hit of the year because it's my unhinged of this year.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember anything else I watched. We watched so many fucking movies, but it was like Dumb Money sticks out in my head. I'm like, damn, I wish I had got that GameStop money. What about you?
Yeah.
What was your sleeper hit?
I'm like you. I don't even remember what we talked about.
But it's like that Dumb Money though. That was my sleeper hit because it crapped up on me.
Yeah.
Like I would watch it once every quarter. I watch it 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Because it's just that good, and nothing else sticks out in my head on that one. So last question.
Okay.
Music wise, and this is like wild. You listen to the Reputation album from Taylor Swift.
Yes.
If you were the music executive, because like I said, we do things in
On with it. You don't.
Yeah.
On with your question.
If you were a music executive over this album, and you had to release videos for this album, because I don't remember how many songs are on it, how many videos would you release about this album?
What do you mean
Like
exactly?
the songs. Which ones would you make videos to? If they didn't have videos to them.
I don't know. I really don't know how that works anymore. I don't watch videos.
No, well, I watch it.
I mean, I stopped doing that in 2000
Damn.
or something. I don't know.
I mean, Endgame had a video.
Like my nan used to record all the country music videos.
Oh, on CNT?
Yeah. And like after she stopped recording those, I kind of stopped watching
And just listen
videos.
to music.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Spotify.
I mean, I'm a multitasker, so I just, you know.
Spotify puts the videos on my phone because we all know that. Well, let's just say this. I'm like Tommy from Martin. Nobody really knows what I do.
Right.
So I have time to watch music videos.
Right.
And I take quiet time every day to watch music videos.
Right.
Which is not quiet time, but it's just my personal time. And I don't know, Taylor Swift does a good job. The Reputation video, I mean, Endgame. I don't know why I call the song Big Reputation, but I call Endgame Big Reputation. Shout out Taylor Swift. Shout out to Nicki Minaj for the new album. Shout out to Beyonce for a great performance in the movie also. And then tie things up. I want to thank you, Stacey, for coming on the show, being an amazing part of what makes me JR, the podcaster, JR, the podcast executive, or whatever I decide to deem myself that day. And thank you for always being by my side and letting me know when I'm wrong. Like, people don't do that around me. People are yes men to me. Because they try to treat me like an executive that I no longer call myself. We don't talk about that executive at all.
Right. And I will argue with you and make you think you're wrong even if you end up being right.
Right. And we'll figure it out. So I want to end the show like I do on every other show. Or every West Virginia Commonplace show. So, I got tongue-tied. If you seek the common, but you make your way to an uncommon place, all you got to do is look over a hill, look down a valley, across a ravine, down a river, and you will find West Virginia Commonplace. And West Virginia Commonplace will simply bring you back to a common place while unearthing an uncommon place.
Have a good night.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at onecommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.